Now, the number one step, and which we must make our lifestyle, is that we must always emphasize the good points of our children. We must always encourage them. We must always talk about their strengths, always commend them, always point out their positive areas. That is very, very helpful for the child's self-esteem. Then we must correct them in love and patiently. We need a lot of patience and love when correcting them. Like we said earlier, children will always be children. They will always do things that you feel disappointed about. It could be about their academics, it could be in their character, it could be in the way they relate with people. So we must always be patient to guide them in the right path. A lot of us are used to yelling when we want to correct children. That will not work. That would only create a gulf between us and them. So we must always be calm when we need to correct them for any error or for any, wrong deed. To have pet names for our children. Names that make them feel loved, that make them feel important. It could be their actual names that you will turn into something funky. It could be something they like to do that you will use to create a pet name for them. That goes a very long way to make them feel free, feel loved, feel accepted. Even when they do something wrong and you call that name, it calls them to order without you having to shout or be their enemy about it. But we should try as much as possible not to compare our children with anyone. Their siblings, a neighbor, a relation. Never ever compare them with anybody. That is highly demoralizing. Makes them feel like out of the whole lot, you are the worst. So never compare them. If you see anything good in anyone that you want them to emulate, don't even mention the person's name. Just mention those good points and counsel them with it. You don't need to make them feel less important than any other person. Encourage free communication. Let children be free to express themselves. Let them be free to bear their mind. Let them contribute to decision making, even in the family. So that helps them to grow and to feel responsible. All right? Please, let us be good listeners. A lot of parents are bad listeners. We only talk. We don't want them to talk back. Not talk back in terms of being rude, but like I said, free flow of communication. Let them express themselves freely in a loving atmosphere. So let us listen to them. In most cases, a lot of information that would have saved children or even whole families from trouble have been, missed because we do not listen to our children. So we should be very good listeners. We must be intentional in building high self-esteem because the children need it for their life, they need it in the future, they need it even in the choice of marriage. You see some ladies, they just fall for any riffraff because that is the person that has shown them some acceptance or love. Ladies would see some traits in a man, and they will still go ahead and marry him just because they feel, he's the only one that has shown interest in me. He's the only one who loves me. Thereby, they become victims of violence, victims of emotional abuse and all kinds, victims of neglect. Some are as good as slaves because they gave themselves cheaply to a man because they had low self-esteem. So this issue of self-esteem has far-reaching effects, and that is why we must be intentional and be deliberate about working on our children and ensure they have very healthy self-esteem, high self-esteem.